Stop telling yourself it's too late to start. If you are still here, you have got time. Life is not over till it's over. Life is only over when no more can literally be done. But I see comments and things about people being like, oh, I'm in my 30s or my 40s. Is it too late to start a business? Is it? No. Why would it be too late to start a business when you're 30 or 40? I think it was Colonel Sanders that started KFC, and I'm sure he was in his 60s. You know, there's loads of founders and people that have done things later on. I understand the logic of, oh, I'm getting on a little bit. Do I have time? A good business takes years to make. And on one hand, yeah, it can. Yeah, cool. But it's never too late to start anything. I mean, right now I'm 30 and I started Murgs at 22. I look back, incredibly lucky. Clearly came from an upbringing where entrepreneurship was just what got me going. I don't know why. But even now, I'm only 30. Only 30. And I watched something recently, and a guy was saying on an interview that he, at age 35, made $60,000 a year. Age 36, he made 250. That's life-changing. That is such a massive change. And you can do it. You've just got to do it, right? That's all it is. You've just got to make a start on something. And the things that you will do right now, this has held me back in loads of times over my life, is this fear of failure. And honestly, you've just got to push through. Just do it. Life is way too short. How many people have you seen that started a YouTube channel, started a TikTok, started an Instagram? Next thing you know, they're getting hundreds of thousands of views. Some of the biggest creators on the planet, like all of us, started out with 0 followers. That's just where you come from, you know? And it's easy to look at the 1 in a million and think, yeah, that's not going to be me. But if you don't do anything to put yourself in, if you're not in the lottery, you're not going to win, right? It might work out. There might be a specific twist, like a Rubik's Cube. You might just need a certain orientation of things for it to work, whatever it is. That could be starting a business, that could be, you know, starting a new hobby, it could be anything. You just need to give it a go. You are not out of time. Plus, life's just a journey, right? Is life not about what is upcoming? Yes, the things in the past have an effect on us, but that's not why we're living. Life moves forward in a positive direction. Like, the only time you should look back is to see how far you've come. And I want to encourage everyone to give something new a try. I mean, I like to look at it as the life CV. What's on your life CV? If someone said, look, yeah, I'm not a believer in God or heaven, but hypothetically, people are in this makes sense. You're going to heaven, and whoever's up there is like, right, show me your CV for your life, your curriculum vitae, your resume, if you're from the other side of the water. And most people would pull out their life CV and be like, right, so I've worked here, and it's like, what? Like, what else have you done? Have you done anything else? And a lot of people are like, well, no, I've been working, I've been busy. No, you can always be doing a little bit more, something new, something extra. A few years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I decided that I'd always wanted to ride motorcycles. And why not? Like, at the time I was 27-ish, and I'm like, I can ride motorcycles. So I went off and I did all my training. I did my training, I got my full license. I now own and ride a motorcycle. It turns out it is my favourite hobby. To me, it even feels weird calling it a hobby. But me getting on that bike and just going for a ride, just for an hour, is more fun than most other things I can do. All because I was like, I want to have done more and tried more. I want to experience more. I want to put more things on my life CV. You know, recently this one went a bit differently to the motorcycle. At first, with my wife, she was like, oh, a bit dangerous. Now she's looking to purchase one in the next 12 to 18 months. I mentioned skydiving. We watched something on YouTube and she was like, oh, would you do that? I was like, yeah, I'd love to. I went down the rabbit hole like I do with my obsessive tendencies, thinking, how would I go skydiving? And how much would it cost in time and money to get to a point where I can throw myself out of an aeroplane? That was the goal. It was like, yeah, anyone can go get strapped to someone else, but how do you get the skills and abilities where they're like, no, we know you can do this, do it. And it turns out it costs about 1,500 to 1,800 pounds, and there's a bit of an ordeal. And at the same time, my wife was like, please don't throw yourself out of aeroplanes. I respect that, fine. But you can absolutely do more. That's the reason I keep going. I always have that enthusiasm for tomorrow will be better than today. You've just got to keep going. You know, you've just got a box full of Lego bricks. You'll make something cool if you spend enough time building things. You've just got to start building. If you're sat there with the bricks and saying, I don't have any directions or instructions, well, no, of course not, because no one on earth has ever had a box of bricks like you've got. And that's your resources, that's family, that's people, that's location, that's the language you speak, that's the money you've got, like anything like that. And all those columns are going to be up and down, but something will fit you. They absolutely will. And I'm a huge advocate of people just doing more. And I'm not saying, I'm anti-grind and hustle culture. Like, no, you do not have to work 90 hours a week for a business to work. No, you do not. You might have to work 90 or 100 hours a week if you want to be a billionaire, but I do not. Because to me, if you were worth 10 million or a billion, that either way I'm done. Like, that's it. I just want enough to have a nice, comfortable life, to be able to help others, to be able to support my family and do all those things. And I just think, do it. Give it a shot. Give it a go. Dive into something. Try something new. You don't have to go in and invest your whole life and all your savings to something to roll the dice. I started my business Murgs with £2,000 and a dream. And now it pays me full time. Yeah, it's not making Rolls Royce money. No, it's not. I mean, I'm sat in a £12,000 Audi. It's very nice. And would I be any happier if this was a £500,000 Rolls Royce Ghost? No, probably not. I'd still have the same stresses. I'd still have the same problems. I'd still, if anything, more money, more problems. I'd have to make a payment on it then. And yeah, it's just, I just hate to see people with or without much potential throw away the life that they've got. You really need to get out there and give it a go. If there's anything you're on the fence with, a hobby, a job, a skill, go do it. One of my favourite things to do when I'm at work and I'm working away, don't get me wrong, I'm not a robot. So if I get in at 8 a.m, I can work till maybe 3. 3 o'clock, I'm kind of running out of steam. And even then, 3 o'clock's ambitious, and that's assuming that I've eaten properly and drank enough water. And so I'll get a full day done, but then it gets to like 3, 4 o'clock, and I'm thinking, I'm still at work. I want to get something done, but the fire's gone. I turn to learning. I flip over to learning. One recently, if you're into business or things like that, I've started learning to use Figma to make my emails. And it's so much fun learning a new thing. It's one of my favourite things. I don't know if I'm blessed with this desire to improve, blessed and cursed, because I never feel good enough. I never feel like I'm good enough to do what I need to do. But at the same time, it is a blessing because I can use lots of pieces of software. I can do lots of different things. And am I an expert in any of them? No, I'm not going to be going to the Isle of Man to race the TT, I promise. But at the same time, you get to a good level of competence there and you can move on. A good example is golf. I always wanted to play golf at a level where, this is when I worked in traditional employment, I always wanted to play golf good enough to where if a managing director or some sort of bigwig at a company was like, John, come and have a game of golf with me, I always thought, I want to be good enough to be competent. I don't want to walk out onto that golf course and be like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. I can play golf to a level where I can get around a golf course. I am not anywhere near par. I might have a handicap of 27, which means on 18 of the holes I get one shot, and then on 9 of them I get one more. And it's just nice to be good at more things. And that's not the point. I'm not saying let's all be good at more things. I'm just saying let's use this life for better. Use this life for more. Use this life for enriching who you are. And one of the biggest drivers for me as well is when I'm learning or I'm progressing or I'm improving, that's both fun and motivating. It really is. Because I think it's fun when my business does better or you're more competent at things. When you ride a motorcycle and you're brand new, stressful. Promise, it really is. It's stressful. For the first few weeks or months, stressful. When you get to a point where you're like, I know how to ride a motorbike. Yeah, I'm pretty nifty on it. I'm not setting any lap records, but if you saw me ride a bike, you'd be like, that guy can ride a bike. Cool. And it's just more fun. So gain more levels of competency in more areas. It'll really benefit you. And any areas that you're fascinated in, if there's something that you're like, I've always wanted to play golf, get on eBay, buy a golf club, go to a second-hand shop, buy something, go to a driving range, look it up. And if you're stuck, no excuses these days. If you were like, I really want to play water polo, but I don't know how to start, so never mind. That's not good enough. ChatGPT will tell you just where to go and how far it is from your house. People will help you get to where you want to be. You just need to have the desire. The thing you can't buy or get from someone else is the desire to do a thing. But if you are lucky enough to have the desire, execute on it, double down on it, do something with that desire. Make your life better, make people around you's life better. Just be more than somebody who goes to work and has a thing they do. You know, like you might play football 2 nights a week, cool. But just try do a little extra, just here and there.